So when I was doing my doctorate, I was teaching, and I was doing that because I didn't want to be one of those academics who only does research and doesn't want to do teaching. I wanted to kind of form an identity for myself where I could do both. And I loved it. The students were the best part of my job because they challenged me and they made it exciting. But then I started to find myself taking on roles which had more to do with pedagogy or academic content, so looking after summer schools, for example, and then looking after Global Shakespeare, and then the kind of projects that I look after in IATL, which sit in the middle of things rather than being at home in one thing or another. And it's not easy being in that in-between space because I often don't have a home. You know, I bounce between places, but actually that's a very exciting and powerful place to be because things are new there, and it's a place where you can draw connections between things that someone in a department doesn't necessarily have the freedom to do. That observation is not unique. Celia Whitchurch observed that many years ago in her work on third space professionals, wherein she describes exactly what I'm talking about, which is this other space between academia and traditional administration where people do this kind of exciting project work. And so I think I've been there all along, and now I'm just realising that that's a thing and that the third space is actually my home. But earlier we were talking about being holistic and being a whole person, and I recognised that my scholarly interest in critically approaching and breaking down boundaries and my professional approach to kind of sitting in this in-between space between being academic and being an administrator are also things I'm interested in my life outside work. So I'm a feminist, and that means that I believe in breaking down unhelpful boundaries between people. You know, I believe in intersectional feminism, in thinking critically and carefully about gender and how we apply those labels to people. And so I realised that all of this interdisciplinary, holistic approach has been swirling around me really my whole adult life. But it's only now, as I come to this point in my career at Warwick, where I've been lucky enough to exploit and make the most of that position, that I realise that that's what's been happening to me all along.